How to see 70% gains in a bear market? You might ask, I know, that might sound crazy. The S&P 500 has fallen around 15% since peaking in January. Google and Amazon are down 20% this year. Yet, this stock has just surged to fresh all-time highs and increased around 70% over the last 6 months. And it's not too late to invest in this winner. Albemarle is fueling one of the world's fastest-growing megatrends. I'll soon explain what Albemarle does and why it still has room to grow. But first, let's look at the massive industry it's powering. I'm talking about the electric vehicle market. When most folks think electric cars, they think Tesla. Tesla is one of the best-performing stocks over the past decade. A decade ago, Tesla was a tiny $3 billion company. Now it's the world's 6th largest company, valued at roughly $900 billion. It's handed investors 15,000% gains since 2012. Tesla single-handedly made the electric car popular. In 2015, it sold less than 20,000 battery-powered cars. Tesla shipped over 280,000 EVs in the first 6 months of this year alone. Tesla was the only game in town when it came to high-performance EVs. But now every automaker is jumping into the race. Ford's electric truck is hitting the roads as we speak. In fact, its EV sales more than doubled over the past year. The first battery-powered Cadillac is expected to hit the roads in the next few months. Mercedes and Toyota announced their plans to go all-electric in the coming years. In fact, EV sales are going through the roof right now. There were only 120,000 electric cars sold worldwide in 2012. Today, folks are buying 225,000 battery-powered cars per week, on average. 1 in 10 cars sold around the world last year was electric. That's 4 times more than 2019. And Bloomberg data shows annual EV sales are on pace to hit 20 million within 3 years. We're entering the mass adoption phase for EVs. So, what's the best way to make money from this disruption? Most would say, buy Tesla. Makes sense, right? Tesla pioneered this industry and still makes the best EVs money can buy. Others might follow super investor Warren Buffett and buy Chinese automaker BYD. It recently dethroned Tesla as the top-selling EV maker. These folks think they're investing in the growth of EVs, but really, they're betting on the success of 1 or 2 companies. That's a risky bet. However, there's a simpler way to profit off the EV megatrend. You want to invest in the white gold, fueling nearly every EV on the road today. What's the biggest difference between regular gas guzzlers and electric cars? It comes down to what's under the hood. When you pop the hood on an electric car, you won't find an engine. They run on batteries, like the one in your smartphone, but 10,000 times more powerful. The battery is by far the most critical part of an EV. It determines how far you can drive before you have to refuel at a charging station. Batteries powerful enough to run a car for 300 miles must be able to store huge amounts of energy. But they also have to be relatively lightweight. This makes lithium the perfect fuel for electric cars. And Tesla is no longer the only game in town. Every automaker is going electric. We're going to need boatloads of lithium. In fact, by 2030, electric vehicles will need as much lithium as 250 billion iPhone batteries. That's a 14-time spike compared to all the lithium the world uses today. Surging demand for lithium is sending prices through the roof. The cost of a ton of lithium jumped 9-fold over the past 2 years. When asked about lithium in a recent interview, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said, "I'd like to once again urge entrepreneurs to enter the lithium business. You can't lose, it's a license to print money." This is great for the world's largest lithium producer, Albemarle. As I mentioned, it's one of the few stocks hitting fresh all-time highs today. Albemarle controls over a quarter of the market and owns the purest lithium mines on the planet. Car makers like GM, Ford, and Tesla need boatloads of battery-grade lithium. Albemarle will be their prime supplier. It sold over $1.4 billion worth of battery-grade lithium to electric car makers in the first half of 2022. In fact, Albemarle's lithium sales nearly tripled over the past year, and it's on track to achieve record earnings this year. Remember, we're just entering the mass adoption phase for EVs. Today, battery-powered cars are roughly where smartphones were back in 2010. A decade ago, 1 in 10 people owned a smartphone. In 2022, 1 in 10 cars sold is an EV. Expect EV share to grow rapidly over the coming years. As the disruptor fueling every automaker's electric dreams, Albemarle stands to make a killing. It's a great time to buy Albemarle if you're a long-term investor.